Hey guys, so right now I'm driving in the Tahoe. Got the Dange with me. I'll give you a little spool noise. So anyways, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna try and go to Walmart and see if they have some solder, because I need to wire together some stuff. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wire up and install an AEM peak and hole injector driver, which what I'll do is it'll allow my Mega Squirt to run everything, even though the Mega Squirt's set up for low impedance or high impedance. This will limit the current draw for the injectors so that they won't fry out components in my Mega Squirt. So what it mainly entails is unwiring all the injector leads and passing them through the box. So it's kind of like, it's not a relay because it uses a processor, but it's a relay in the sense of like, it gets triggered for each output by an input off of the injector's original signal wire. So once I get these parts, or not these parts, but like maybe a little looming and some solder, I will get back to you guys and install the thing. Alright, so I'm back, got my solder, and here is the AEM injector driver. So what we have is, we have 10 inputs and 10 outputs right there. And basically what you need to do is this box goes in between the send and the receive signal on the injector. And it more or less just powers the injector off a trigger for the ECU. I talked about it when I was driving to get the stuff on how it kind of works. It's almost like a relay, but not. It's a trigger driver box. So I'm going to take a look at the harness, figure out where I'm going to be splicing and how I'm kind of going to go about it, and then I will start wiring in the AEM box. One thing that kind of stinks though is that if you notice, there's a lot more wires going in than coming out. And the person I got this from, they must have had a 4-cylinder car, because they cut off the other wires like right around here. So I may have to extend them, or I'll just kind of use where I mount the box to overcome that. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. So once I started looking at this, it became pretty clear right away that the easiest way to do this was to just take the harness right back out of the car and look up the pinouts and splice everything on my workbench rather than trying to work inside the engine bay. So here I am, got my intake flipped, got pretty much my harness disconnected. Just pull off that sensor. Harness just pulls right out. I gotta undo these big ones, and then I'll work on the bench. Okay, so I was having trouble finding a good pinout reading for my harness on the internet. It seems as though Ford's actually been changing the colors around. So instead of working out here in the barn and like leaning over my bench and doing all this wiring, I'm actually going to take it inside so I can use a real computer instead of a tab to try and find the right colors, and so I can sit down at an actual like table and have something in front of me to work on top of it. Because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to splice everything all through there, and I'm just going to like connect or test continuity to each injector afterwards to make sure that like I don't have any breaks in the wiring. But I think that's going to be a better way to do this project. So catch you inside. Hey, so now I'm back inside my house, and I figured I would kind of show you what I'm referencing and looking at and doing this wiring, and also why it's a lot easier to do something like this from inside the house. So let me just find the manual real quick. Alright, so what I have here is, this is looking at what I need to do for the AEM, which these are just connector in, connector outs. Here's a little drawing of the diagram. Let me make this larger. There's some of the diagram for wiring up the AEM harness, or the AEM peak and hold injector driver, and then I need to reference these different colors because these are the colors that travel through the harness to the actual injectors. But there's an intermediary connector So I need to find the pin out on the intermediary connector, which is right there. So it's because of the fact that I have all these different graphs and stuff I need to reference, it just makes it a lot easier sitting here, be able to have multiple things open on my computer. Plus, granted, I'll be floor sitting, but I'll be able to sit at this table. I got my harness and all my stuff set up so I can make my harness happen. So I'll probably do a little time lapse or something for you, at least let you see some of me doing the harness. A lot of this is going to be something that I'm just going to make all this harness tie in, and then I'll show you reinstalling it back into the car. So I'm going to get going on that, and hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to show what I will do for all of them. So I'll show it on one injector, and then I'm pretty much just going to repeat this process for all the others. So I guess I will start with injector 1, which, as you can see, I have labeled the pinouts for the time being. So, injector 1. Catch you after I do that a few more times. I'm not going to do the inputs and outputs at the same time because I want to get confused between the different colors on the different harnesses for the input and output. So I'm just going to do outputs, then inputs. I showed you that one. I'm going to bang out the other ones. I'll show you doing one output, do the other 7, and then it'll be time to go install it in the car. I'll show you the assembled whip when it's all finished, and that's going to be pretty much it for this injector driver install. This isn't it, but that's the scheme of how this video is going to go. So I'm going to bang out the other ones now. I'm all done with the wiring. It's kind of a lot of splices to make, but here is the setup. So I've got my AEM box. These are ground and then a positive with a fuse in it. And then I spliced, here is the black connector from the 2 white and black connectors that go to the main harness. These aren't used because you can hook up to 10 cylinders on this, but they're the splices going for the input. And then on the other side of all that, these are all the splices for the output with the 2 unused. So what I'll do is I will wrap all of this back into the loom and find a place to mount the injector driver box inside the car. I got the harness all made up, and now I'm back out in the barn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the looming back on, and I'm going to tape back up the harness so that it looks like a cohesive harness once again. This is my absolute mess of a harness. These are the new splices that I've made to connect to my AEM box. And well, that sucks. Damn it. Alright, so it stinks that that thing broke, but I got it all epoxied up now. And I kind of flipped around the way that I'm doing the wood. But there you go. It's mounted up. So I'm going to put this into the car now. Alright, and now these are just the power and ground wires that I was talking about. Pretty cool. Glad I have that installed. Should make it idle better. The whole point of it is that with these lower impedance injectors, they get a big current and it opens up the mechanism more quickly so that you're able to idle it better and make things like that. Not have as many issues as if you were to have a higher resistance, which you don't get the same opening times. So that's all for the AEM install. Pretty straightforward. The instructions are all online. The hardest part is cross-referencing the different manuals in order to find what actually works for your specific application. And then it's just a lot of splicing. It's all mounted up. It's good to go. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. You can catch me on Instagram at Lowristocrat, and I'll have some more stuff for you. See ya.